Bruce Frederick Springsteen was born on September 23, 1949. He lived in Freehold, New Jersey, with his parents and two younger sisters, Virginia, called Ginny, and Pamela. Ginny was 1.5 years younger than Bruce, but Pamela was much younger. Bruce was 12 when Pamela was born. Pamela was such a cute baby that Bruce didn't mind helping out. He liked playing with her, or even giving her a bottle. Freehold is a medium-sized town located near the New Jersey shoreline and about a 90-minute drive from New York City. There were lots of farms and factories when Bruce was a boy. It was not a wealthy town. People in Freehold were mostly blue-collar workers. Blue-collar workers. The name blue-collar comes from the color of denim work shirts worn by men who have low-paying jobs. Jobs in a garage or on a factory assembly line, for example. White-collar describes workers who make more money. They work in offices, where they need to dress up in shirts with white collars. Most of the jobs in Freehold were at the local factories. The biggest was Nestle, which produced chocolate bars and coffee. While Bruce was growing up, one of the big employers, a rug factory, left town. Jobs became harder to find. Bruce's mother, Adele, worked as a secretary for a lawyer. She had a good job. However, Bruce's father, Doug, had trouble finding steady work. For a while, he drove taxis and trucks. At one point, he was a prison guard. To make ends meet, the Springsteens moved in with Doug's parents after Bruce was born. They stayed for 6 years. Bruce's grandparents lived in a house that had cracked walls, windows that rattled, and just one kerosene heater to warm the house in winter. His grandparents didn't believe in a lot of rules for him. Bruce was allowed to stay up all night, watching television and playing with his toys. As a little boy, Bruce loved to have books read aloud to him. One of his favorites was Brave Cowboy Bill. Bill had many adventures in the Wild West. Bruce was so crazy about the story that soon he knew all the words by heart. When Bruce was old enough, his mother sent him to a Catholic school. Bruce did not like it one bit. There were so many rules, and the nuns were very strict. One time, in 3rd grade, a nun stuffed him in a trash can. Why? She said the trash can was where he belonged, as if he were no better than garbage. Bruce spent time in the principal's office, too. He was not a bad kid. He was just different. He liked to be alone with his thoughts. Not all the time, of course. He also liked to hang out with other kids, play baseball, and read Archie comics. Bruce enjoyed spending time with his mother. Adele also loved music. She'd play the radio in the kitchen, singing and dancing while making breakfast. Bruce sang and danced right along with her. Adele introduced Bruce to all kinds of music: pop, rock and roll, country, and folk music. One night in 1957, Adele let Bruce stay up late to watch The Ed Sullivan Show on television. Elvis Presley was performing, and Bruce could not take his eyes off him. Elvis wasn't afraid to be different, and he looked like he was having so much fun on stage. After seeing Elvis, Bruce wanted his own guitar. If Elvis could be a rock star, why couldn't he? Elvis Presley. Elvis Aaron Presley was born in Tupelo, Mississippi in 1935 and died in 1977. He learned to sing and play the guitar at his church. He would grow up to become known as the King of Rock and Roll. Before rock and roll, there was music called rhythm and blues, or R&B. It was popular with black musicians. Elvis loved the smooth sound of R&B. It was fun to dance to and had a steady beat. Elvis shook his hips when he danced. When he went on stage, the fans screamed with happiness. Elvis had a very fancy mansion in Memphis, Tennessee, called Graceland. It had 8 bathrooms and a garage full of antique cars. In 1976, Bruce tried to sneak into Graceland. He wanted to meet Elvis, his idol. The guards sent him away. Elvis wasn't home. As Bruce grew older, all he could think about was rock and roll music. When he was 14, he was riding in the car with his mom, listening to the radio. The Beatles song, "I Want to Hold Your Hand," started to play. As soon as Bruce's mom stopped the car, Bruce jumped out and ran to the nearest payphone. He had to call his girlfriend. He couldn't wait to tell her about the awesome song he had just heard. Then, in 1964, Bruce got that special guitar for Christmas. From then on, Bruce practiced every day. He said, "It took over my whole life. Everything from then on revolved around music. Everything." Sometimes Bruce would play the guitar and watch himself in the mirror. Even though Bruce was just a skinny boy with dark curly hair, he liked what he saw. When he held his guitar, he felt powerful.